All right. Recording is now in progress. Hopefully you won't mind. All right, well, welcome. It's great to have you here. It's great to be back. So it's been a while, a couple years. It's been an interesting journey. I don't know how much you know about BSides Austin, but the first one was in 2010. Jack Daniel and Ben Tomhav started it, and shortly thereafter, Michael Goff took over the reins of it for 4 years or 5 years. He ran it from 2012 to 2015. 2015 was the year I volunteered and helped out, and Mike decided he wanted to get out and enjoy being a audience member instead and do other things. And so my partner and I started running them in 2016 after being very involved in 2015. And we had a great series of face-to-face events. And then just weeks before our 2020 event, the strangest thing happened. Well, actually, it wasn't that strange. You all know what it is. But basically, we haven't done a BSides, as you know, in the last 2 years. So it's great to finally have one going again. Virtual, I know, but something's coming, and I'll let you know a little bit more about that later. So first, let me thank all the speakers. Thank you very much. Without their hard-won experience and decades of testing and research and so forth, these talks couldn't be possible. I believe there's something in all of these talks for everyone. There's some gold in these talks. So please pay attention and enjoy them. Also, thank you to the volunteers that have helped make this event happen. We couldn't do it without our current volunteers and the volunteers we've had over the last 5 years. And then a big thanks to a couple of our prize sponsors, Offensive Security and No Starch Press, always great sponsors. All right, let's see. Oh, wrong direction. All right, the schedule is in a few places. You probably already noticed it's on our website. It's also in the schedule channel in Discord, and I think also in announcements. So we're not expecting any changes to the schedule today, so hopefully there won't be any. If you need to interact with speakers, the way to do it is chat is essentially disabled. The host will be able to see the chat, but that's not the right way to ask questions. If you have questions for the speakers, please use the QA function in Zoom, and they'll review them at the end. They'll also potentially they'll probably answer those at the end. If they're not able to get to all of them, they'll be moved over to Discord. And the speakers have agreed to check out Discord. So if you don't want to use the Zoom QA, you can ask the question in the talk channel. There's a channel for every single talk. So just find the appropriate channel and post the question there, obviously. All right. And then if you need to reach out to any of the moderators, if you have a question or there's an issue or anything like that, there's a Get Moderator Help channel. You can also DM the moderators. So there's a moderator role. So you should be able to do that. So about the talks, all the talks are going to be recorded, and we're going to upload them to a brand new channel. It's YouTube at BSides Austin. There's nothing there right now, but if you want to be notified when those are uploaded, please go ahead and subscribe now, or just check back every so often. 3 of the talks will not be recorded. So at 1 p.m., 5 p.m., and 5:30, the Hacking Web3 Blockchain and Smart Contracts, Building and Maturing an Atomic Purple Team, and Adaptive Cybersecurity Risk Assessments. They all 3 look like great talks, so please watch those live if you want to see them. We are going to have, so we've learned a lot of things about hosting a virtual conference doing this. This time around, we are using a Zoom webinar. And we're essentially, what we decided to do, instead of having a different webinar for every single talk, we decided to have one long webinar that basically lasts a day. The advantage to this is you don't have to leave Zoom and reconnect to another Zoom. So that's pretty nice. The disadvantage is you're going to hear a lot of record it, start it, record it, stopped as we go. So we could do one long continuous recording throughout the day, but just to be a little paranoid, that's me, I've asked that they start and stop between talks so that the individual files will be a little smaller. And hopefully what that means is we'll be able to get them processed and uploaded faster. So hope you don't mind that little annoyance, but I think it'll be a lot more convenient than just leaving a Zoom and then joining another Zoom repeatedly. So the CTF will be running today. First of all, it will start a few minutes after these opening remarks. Obviously, this isn't going to go for 15 whole minutes. My goal is to make that available at 9 a.m. As the first talk starts. So you should be able to register for it around that time, and the challenges will be available as well. So credits for some of the challenges were designed by different people and in other CTFs. So there's a hodgepodge of challenges that were created for this one and some that were adapted for this one. Credits for those will be announced at the closing ceremony. But I wanted to not do that now because of potentially giving you clues, since some CTF challenge developers have certain styles and like certain types of vulnerabilities. So anyway, no hints there. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the future of BSides. So the last 2 years has been really tough for us because we love the community of BSides Austin, and we decided we could not go through another year without having at least some event, which is why we decided to do this virtual event. I know we should have done this like 2 years ago, and in retrospect, I wish we had, but we really, when we were deciding to have the event or not have the event, it was really, we want the community, and the face-to-face community was a big part of what made BSides Austin special, and I think probably every BSides, since they're local events. However, having gone through this now, we've learned a lot about what to do and probably a lot more about what not to do. And so I'm not sure this will be our last virtual event, but we will be having a face-to-face event. Right now, our goal is to have the face-to-face event in May. In fact, we are working with a venue right now in the hopes of securing May 4th and May 5th. If you're a total geek like me, you love those dates. May the 4th be with you, and Cinco de Mayo obviously have a lot of meaning here in Texas, so especially among geek culture. So hopefully that's going to happen, almost 100%, but we can't say solidly just yet. We are also potentially planning on holding another virtual event in the fall of next year. So we haven't decided when, but based on all the stuff we've learned doing this event, it just seems to make sense. There's a lot of value there, and it does open up this to people who can't get out of work, because our event always has typically fallen on a Thursday, Friday. A lot of people couldn't attend it because they had to go to work. Well, having a virtual event, the nice thing is I have a feeling a bunch of you are at work and sort of multitasking. Hopefully you're going to focus more on the talks than the work, since this is work relevant. But I understand that some of you have to be doing your jobs as well. So hopefully having that virtual event also will give people the ability to attend another event. And next time we do one of these, instead of a single track, you know, this was an experiment and a test and a learning experience. We'll have multiple tracks next time, multiple speakers. The other thing besides the face-to-face and a virtual conference is I'm hoping that we're going to start doing some more webinars and some training events throughout the year. So we'll see how that goes. Obviously, that'll be time dependent and volunteer dependent. So if you are interested in getting involved with BSides Austin as a volunteer, we'd love to hear from you and get you involved. So please join the Discord to stay up to date with what's happening. And then finally, in the event of an emergency, so when you give a virtual event, the worst case scenario is your Zoom dies and you are dead in the water. If Zoom drops for some reason, try to rejoin the Zoom for a few minutes, but check our Discord for next steps if we have to regenerate another one. Okay. And then if you have any issues, suggestions, or ideas, these are the ways to get in touch with us, and please connect with us. So that is the entirety of the opening notes. We'll be on a break until 9 a.m. when we'll switch over to our first talk and the CTFs. So thank you and welcome.